right, welcome back this week, you guys. We went ahead and just jumped in the studio and had some good conversation. Quinn and I are in here today, and we started this episode with a tweet that I saw, and I went ahead and read it out to Quinn and just kind of got his thoughts on it. It's a good tweet. It's a classic one. I think everybody's probably seen going around. It's like, if you give $600 to a poor person, or if you give $600 to a rich person, what they do with it. And then they have, what really made it viral is the comment below it. So you'll hear that in this episode. We jump in. Quinn's got a fresh cut this week. So go in the podcast comments or the YouTube comments, or DM us and just let us know, if you like Quinn's new cut. I didn't get a cut. That's why I'm wearing a hat. I'm actually looking a little rough today, but
all right. Well, I would just say this is just our take on the classic parable of give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for his life. And it's just kind of us breaking it down, how it applies to modern standards. I kind of took it to a civilization society place, how it applies to modern society, modern civilization. We kind of get into that. But we also go deeper, and there's a lot of good stuff beneath that and within all these weavings. And it was a good philosophy discussion.
Yeah, it's gonna pop one practice. Out. Yeah, why we didn't do a guest on this episode? We actually have 3 or 4 guests lined up, but none of them could record until Monday of this next week. So we want to get something out so that we would keep up with our schedule for our Sunday output. And then also another thing that you should be looking for, and go ahead and get at us in the comments whenever you see these clips come out. But we're starting to put out a clips portion of our podcast. So we got a couple clips put together. They're like between 3 minutes and 20 minutes. Quinn's been working on them pretty solid. So check those out. Let us know what you think. They'll take you back to our longer episodes and everything, but there's some good nuggets in there.
Yeah, and let us know if there's something that we're not covering that you want us to cover, something we're missing that you want to see that you think we could be doing better. We should start taking, I would love to start taking write-ins.
Oh, love to get
guests.
or
not guests, but people
comments.
that listen, send us questions, comments, concerns, something interesting you saw, you want to know what we think about it.
Yeah, DM us on Instagram. That's typically the best place. I have an email account, but I have not been looking on the email account. Another thing I wanted to say too was, so we just got done with our first interview last week with Caleb.
Yeah, our first interview since coming back.
Yeah, since coming back, and that was good, but what we were struggling with in that one was the audio and everything. In this episode, we have sound in the walls. We're working on a little bit better, mic etiquette and everything, production value.
Mic etiquette. Can I say this?
Oh, yeah,
since I'm the one that has to edit the audio. If you come on the show and you do not put in some effort towards your mic etiquette, I'm going to beat you over the head with it. Because I spent days fighting noise gates, all this stuff. Love you, Caleb. You're a little...
We all were.
We all were.
It was bad.
I'm going to harp on you for sure. If I'm here, I know Kyle will yell at you more if he's producing a guest interview than I'm not.
Yeah.
And hopefully Drew will remember to get after guests if neither of us are here. We just need you to stay. You see the difference here? We just need you to stay right here on this guy. And it makes better quality for the guests, makes better quality for people listening, makes my life a lot easier when I edit these.
Touche.
That was just my little rant there. So
well, and also what you'll see, we don't have the mic or the camera on it this week, but we got a whole new mic stand so that we shouldn't have near as many issues when it comes to whacking the table and touching the table and all that stuff. I'm also way more relaxed this week and like the way I'm sitting and like gym shorts on and all that stuff. But
I'm in jeans. It's 100. I'm in black jeans. It's 100 degrees outside.
It's hot out there.
Good though.
All right. Well, that's the episode you guys are gonna enjoy. We'll let you get into it. And let us know what you think. Please like, subscribe on every platform. We will take all of the ratings, reviews, everything we can get. Don't be too honest. If it's less than a 5-star, we don't want it. No.
And if you catch me out in public and you can show me on your phone, you subscribe to us on YouTube, you follow us on Instagram, and you've given us at least 1 5-star rating, I'll give you a high five or a hug, whichever you want.
Oh, whoa, Quinn.
Yeah, I'll throw that out there.
I'm gonna say, please don't promise money. Please.
No. No cash prize. No cash prize. But maybe I'll shoot you some memes next time.
Yeah, we need some subscribers on YouTube, man. It's bad. It's bad. So, all right, here's the episode. We'll let you get into it. We'll talk maybe after, maybe not. See you. Bye. Oh, wait. No, here you go. Get started. Okay. Are we recording?
Yeah.
We good?
Yep.
What do you think about this tagline here? Give $600 to a poor person and it's gone in a week. Give $600 to a rich person and it's multiplied 10x in a few years or less.
There's two arguments for this.
Hold on. There's still more. And then there's a guy that says in the comments, this is what made it go viral. It was not the above stuff. Everybody says that above stuff all the time. Here's the thing below. It says, here, let me fix that for you. Give $600 to someone with no money and they have no choice but to use it to survive. Give $600 to someone whose needs are already fully met and they can sit on it all they want. And it says, for F's sake, are we really this dense? ? Your thoughts?
I agree with the guy
Which one? The one in
in the comments.
Okay.
I think he's right. I think like there is such thing as being trapped in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you get that money, you've got places it needs to be allocated to right away.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's bills you're behind on, or medical procedures, or groceries for the week. But yeah, if your basic needs are already met, like your bills are already paid, then you have room to use that money how you'd like to, not how you need to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that depends. It varies with what you consider your needs. So someone would be like, well, this, you could come at it like, I forget my production job here. You could come at it like, well, a homeless guy, let's just be realistic. Nobody get upset about this. Let's just sit with me for a second. He's got no rent bill he needs to pay. He probably doesn't have any loans or anything like that. If you're fully homeless, maybe you do, maybe you don't. So yeah, if you give it to like a bare bones broke person, they might be able to invest that more wisely than say someone who's trapped under, trapped under either the situation they're in, bills they have to pay. Like what's a good way to put it? It's enough money to pay rent, but it's not enough money for a down payment on a house to start building your wealth. You know what I mean? Like right in that middle ground. So it's enough money to get you into trouble, but not enough money to buy your way out of it.
Do you know what
It's okay. Here, if this might be some people's language. It's enough money to buy you the kilo, but it's not enough money to fund the distribution network.
Okay. So, yeah, I was curious about that because you're kind of in that situation a little bit, moving back home, trying to save that money up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were just given $600 right now, because you got maybe $1,000 to your name right now?
Yeah.
Maybe. So if you were given $600 right now, what would you do with it?
Tough. I don't even think I have a plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
It would just keep me going until I could find the next job.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, it would keep me. Yeah, it would pay my normal bills until I could go. It would allow me to go find more work and not be as worried about bills.
Okay. That's kind of what I think about that. So when I see this kind of a tweet go viral and everything, and I see where people are coming from. I do. And I see why this is such a great tweet. But I think about it this way. Sure, what that guy said is absolutely valid about give $600 to someone with no money and they have no choice but to use it to survive. I see where he's coming from. But it's the mindset that I have an issue with.
Mm-hmm.
If you're given $600, I don't even think you give it to like the way that this guy says, when he says a poor person, poor people typically have poor mentality, poor mindset, poor outlook.
Yeah.
Like all of these things that they don't see a way out of their position, their current position. And I've been there. I deal with this every week. Every week I have at least an up and down day where I have a really good day because I had somebody call me up, want to go to coffee and want to hear my advice. And then I have other days like, what's the point? I didn't make any money. I'm not seeing any money coming in and nothing's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 months, probably until I can get any more money coming in. But with this situation, if a person just goes and spends that on what they already have, they're not going to change the situation. If you have a toothache and your tooth is falling out of your head, you've already put it off long enough. Put it off another week and go and change your situation. Like you can live on less and less and less. Typically, the people that I've met that figured out how to bootstrap something have figured out first how to live off of nothing. Okay. Like my business partner who lived off of literally $5 a day while he was on tour, playing drums. Didn't make any money, but like figured out how to live as cheaply as possible. And people that figure out how to live as cheaply as possible, but have a reason to do that other than just to live cheaply as possible, but have a
Right.
reason to do it
And I think that's
so that they have somewhere to go with it. Like if they can figure out how to allocate their money to somewhere that will at least give them the chance to try to gain an opportunity somewhere or to try to go put themselves in front of somewhere else so that they can, it's literally just showing effort, and you just need to be able to buy another day, another week to go show effort to the right person that they go, yeah, you should come and join my team. And
Yeah.
then from there on, you've made it. You need to figure out, and that's my problem with that is they don't realize really what that $600 does. You hit it on, you got a piece of it. How can I buy enough time to be able to keep living in a place where I can show effort to somebody that will eventually see my effort and go, yeah, I could probably use you over here, or I could probably find you another way to gain your next $600 so you can buy another week to go try show your effort somewhere else. Like that's what I have an issue with these things is everybody blows them up because it's like, yeah, well, let's be serious.
If
about
you were in
this.
my position, you would.
If you actually didn't have any money, you'd clearly need that money to survive. It's like, yeah, but what are you doing with the time you have?
Right.
So the money that you're allocating towards survival, what is the point of survival? Why are you surviving? Are you going anywhere with that time? So you've bought another week's worth of food, you've paid for a dentist appointment, you've paid for your health care. Shoot, you might need penicillin or you might need insulin or something like that. You know, like who knows what you need to get through the next week or 2 weeks, you know, medical bills or whatever. But every week you get for time, what are you doing with that time?
Right.
Are you trying to go and make it so that your situation is a better situation? Because
And
if you're fighting all the time for survival, what's the point of survival? Use that time to get better. And people say, well, there's no way. There's no possible way for someone to get ahead. It's not possible for a mother of 3 and to have all this stuff. To that I say, it's possible. It's hard as hell, but it's possible.
right.
And if it's not possible, then why are you alive?
See, I think what a lot of people argue about that they maybe don't, I think they never break the conversation down this far is like,
Well, and these are tweets, these are memes.
right.
But yeah.
But it is possible. But like you said, it's possible, but it's extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what a lot of people's gripe is these days, even if it's without them realizing it, is the level of difficulty it's at to get ahead right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think people feel it is too difficult. It shouldn't be this hard to get ahead, which coming from a straight financial standpoint, I can agree with. I mean, like when you break down the math statistically, people are right when they say in the 1950s you could support a family of 4 off a high school diploma working 40 hours a week at wherever, right? Whether it was a shopkeep or whatever, you could make enough money then to do that. Compared to now, the dollar does not go as far. So I think that's what maybe people don't know that's what they're arguing about, but I see that as kind of where the base of the problem is coming from, is the level of difficulty. I see you rolling your eyes, but I would agree that the level of difficulty to get ahead now, yes, we have more tools than ever. Like there's, there's Shopify stuff like, what am I trying to say here? Like with the internet, there's so many more opportunities, whether it's Fiverr, setting up these like e-commerce stores. You have all these tools to teach yourself new skills for free online. We have more tools, but it still takes more effort and you have to put more in than you ever have before. The door has changed. I feel like the ground floor has changed. With how much effort you have to put in to stay afloat, I would argue is higher now than it has been before. Because in the old days and before in previous times, people could just go to high school, get a diploma, walk out, get a job. And that's all they need to take care of their family.
What are the old days?
Like, I don't know, 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, previously, I'm looking at this just from a purely American standpoint and like America's history, because that's what I'm most relevant, like know the most of. I would say that's like the big issue you see people talk about online right now, is that like it didn't used to be this hard to stay afloat.
Yeah, I think
And
in a
'cause-
50-year, I think sure in a 50-year, in a 50-year difference, but I think now more than ever it is. We have more people dying from obesity than we've ever had, ever.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people would probably think that I've never been poor or that we've never been poor, but I know where I can go and get a free meal just about any day of the week. And you know, it's there's it sounds sad, but there's food that's getting thrown away all the time that you can go and you can find.
Yeah.
You can get at Winco, you can get it. We used to buy expired bread for 25 cents a piece, you know, at the bread store.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not moldy. It's just past expiration. They have to throw it out or they discount it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were technically buying it so that we could feed animals or something, but no, we ate it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not hard, but I'm saying if life is worth living, love yourself enough to figure out how to make it so that every week is not just based on survival.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Put yourself in a position where you can go and do something. It might mean you have to walk 100 miles every day to get somewhere new.
Yeah.
It might mean that. And it might mean you might die along the way. It might mean dysentery, it might mean whatever, but at least have the hope and the self-respect for yourself as a human being to go and try it. And this is a super touchy thing. Like a lot of people are probably going to be like, Drew, you can't say that. You've never been in something worse or harder, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. But I know what self-sabotage is, and I know what a weak mindset will do to somebody.
Right.
And I think first and foremost, you need to, in today's world, there's enough examples of getting just a little bit better in life.
Right.
Everybody knows a poor kid in the neighborhood, and all the poor kid know a kid that's a little bit better off than them.
Yeah.
So you just have to go and take a little bit of that information and go and make yourself a little bit better every day. It's called the compound effect. And you go and find something that makes you a little bit better every day from someone that's just 2 hours ahead of you or a day ahead of you or 6 days ahead of you or a little bit better off than you, and just keep on growing. And then eventually you will get to a point. Like, I believe that this world is not I don't know how to say it. I don't believe that this is a situation where if this person has this, it means that this other person can't. I think that they call that a zero-sum game.
Yeah. Yeah. Zero sum or a non-sum.
Because if someone takes this, then you don't get
then
this.
you can't have it as well.
I don't believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
I think if someone takes that, you can go and learn how to take that as well.
Right.
You can learn how to go and grow in that.
Yeah. See, in my counter argument, not saying I don't disagree with the way you're thinking here, but the way I would frame it, coming from, we'll just think of me as representing the masses argument here. Here's the few quick points that I just thought of. The system that is, so generally most people are not going to have a rule the world mindset like yourself. Like they're willing to do whatever it takes to get ahead. You know what I mean? They want to go out and get ahead.
I'm not saying ethically.
Let me finish here. Okay. So people, I would say, yeah, it doesn't matter about ethics or morals. Not everyone wants to be the go-getter. They don't want to have to wake up every day and think, what do I need to do today to get ahead? Okay, this is just a realistic fact. I know you're looking at me like you don't understand. You don't understand how that could be possible.
I'm looking at you to listen. I'm
But
not rolling my eyes. I'm not looking at you angry.
No.
You're describing my face, but if people looked at my face, they would say,
Yeah.
no, Drew's listening.
Okay, so yeah, I would argue that the system in place for these people who don't have, we'll just say, an entrepreneurial mindset where they want to go build themselves up, people that just want to live like, and there's nothing wrong with this lifestyle, but just a flat and easy lifestyle, right? So they get to go do their couple of fun things and they're happy putting in their 40 hours a week as long as that means they can pay their bills and they feel they're well taken care of with a little bit of fun money, like room for, still being able to go do some fun things, right? This is where I would argue that most people are at in life. They just want to be able to put in their 40 hours a week, make enough from that to pay for healthcare, groceries, and the occasional vacation or nice thing. Correct? Right? So we see eye to eye there. So that is just the general population. And so now the problem is, I would say from my view, the system, there's not as many aids in the system to help people do that now. If you want to live comfortably, you have to go get it yourself. You have to be more of a self-starter, more of a self-learner, more of a self-teacher, or like we were talking about earlier, be able to see opportunity and seize it. You cannot just perform the quota. I can't think of the word for it right now, I'm blanking it, but you can't just perform quota and live comfortably anymore. Or it's harder to find a place where you can perform the quota and live comfortably.
And I think that this is the problem. I think that everything you're talking about is from an American standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm talking about a survival in living in the worst place in Africa kind of a situation. I'm talking about, if you look at the world as there should be a quota of, hey, this is the minimum I should be able to do, and I should be able to survive with this much, you've already limited what you're worth. You've already limited what you're valued at. You've limited so many things in your life. Like, if you ever think, I should get this, if I work this, you've lost the game. The game is lost.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people in this world will blame the system, will blame will blame the people around them, will blame them circumstances, will blame so many different portions of it. You can't control any of it. You can't control any of it. Just like I couldn't control being chosen and blessed with the ability to be living in a place where opportunity is so cheap, everyone takes it for granted. I can't say that it's going to be easy. None of it's going to be easy. But if your goal is to have an easy life, and you feel like you're entitled to a 40-hour work week, and you feel like you're entitled to a 2-day weekend, and you feel like you're entitled to a certain standard of living, you've lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
You've lost the game, and you are no longer a self-respecting human being.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you hit that point of entitlement, I feel like it does something in your mind that warps your mind. And I feel like even getting to that point is already a loss. People say, well, life shouldn't be a game, Drew. It shouldn't be something that everyone has to work so hard at.
I was just going to say, people don't want to play that game.
Yeah.
They feel like, since we live in a modern civilization, in a first world country even, I think, and that's, which to be fair is kind of the point of modern civilization, is so you don't have to play that game anymore. That's the whole idea with where humanity is heading, is like,
but they're just going to play a different game.
Which I understand.
People want to, like, ultimately people will always try to grow a society where they have less risk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We made it so that people wouldn't have dysentery once every month. Like, we made it so we had clean water systems so that the risk wasn't so high to go and get water from the river, bring it back to your family, and not get killed by a lion in the process. So we built the canals in Rome. Like, there's things that human beings have always done to try to limit the amount of risk that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's always a thing.
Right.
But the risk starts, and the risk assessment and the risk tolerance, it begins at birth. It begins before birth. It begins at conception. It begins, like, as soon as you're willing to say that you're going to have sex, you're taking the risk of that baby not being healthy, killing you, like, or the father dying, or whatever. Like, now the father needs to take care of the baby as well, and take care of the family.
Yeah.
And provide. Like, that's the overall thought process of just overall evolution, if you believe in evolution or whatever. Like, it's just, it doesn't matter what theory, at some point life is a risk.
Yeah.
When you can accept that life is a risk, then you can accept life is going to be hard.
Right.
When you take risk. And then you can accept, okay, to ask for an easy life might be a good motivator, to have some kind of to want an easy life is a motivator to make your life better. But to come out the gate expecting an easy life without having to deal with the hard, and overcoming the hard,
Right.
that's where we lose the game.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you say, well, people don't want to do. I do care. I care what you say. But I'm saying that it makes no difference if people feel like they should have some kind of a quota and be able to do the bare minimum to be able to get so far. If that thought process, which is just a thought process, it is truly them living in their minds that, hey, this is what I should get for this. If that is a thought process that they want to go ahead and set their standards of living by, that's on them. That's something they come up in their mind. You can't legislate that kind of behavior. You can't legislate that kind of thought process.
Right.
You have free will and you have free thought.
Yeah.
And so asking for an easy life, that is such a disparaging term, because easy for somebody is not easy for somebody else.
Right.
Easy for somebody is having clean and fresh running water. And easy for other people is having air conditioning. And easy for other people is having maid service. And easy for other people beyond that is being able to get somewhere within 2 to 3 hours, no matter the traffic.
Right.
Because you just have your own place to get.
Yeah.
So, and I'm picking apart just because you said easy, and I know that now that you're listening to this and you're going, yeah, maybe I phrased that wrong. But all I'm stating is that self-responsibility, the acceptance of risk and life being hard,
Yeah.
and knowing that anybody could die at any minute and anybody could lose it all at any minute, but still trying and going and doing the hard things.
Right.
That's what moves us forward.
And so I feel like nowadays these arguments come up, and I think we're bordering on the edge of philosophical here, the individual versus society.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think people are going to like listening to this. Let us know in the comments if you don't like listening to this. Because this is something Drew and I are really good at, is having these conversations, because we have pretty different viewpoints on some of this stuff. But is the fact that people don't even think like what you were just saying about survival now, because they were born inside of a system, they were raised by the system, and that system has removed a large part of the risk.
Oh yeah,
right.
A ton of the risk.
So people never.
There's never been
people are
less
still
risk
doing,
than now.
right.
I
Exactly.
believe personally, even in the 50s.
Yeah. No.
Even
no.
in the 50s, I think there was more risk. Than now.
Right. Besides between medical problems and other things like that. But so I think people are now like, why do I need to assume that if the system told me that it was going to remove these risks and provide for me, but now the system is broken? So people are taking issue with the system, right? A system they were raised to believe in that is not working how they were told it was going to work for them.
Yep.
So now hold on.
There never was a system.
There was.
There's been a promised system, but we'll never ever achieve it.
Right, but we've been working towards it. That's the whole idea of civilization, is working towards a system that mitigates these risks and provides not an easy, but like a status quo. Okay,
Yeah.
The system provides a status quo for all people, equally or not equally is up for debate. But that's the idea of the system of civilization, whether it be through capitalism, socialism, communism, dictatorship, tyranny. The whole idea of a system, that's why people believe in them, and that's why they work, is because, okay, we're going to believe in a promise, feed into this promise, and we need to be seeing, it's like a risk return.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, it's
if I'm going to
exactly
pay into
that.
the system should be providing me this back.
Yeah.
If I'm going to pay my taxes, I shouldn't hit a pothole every time I drive to your house and almost flip my bike.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the idea. So now people are so concerned with, why isn't the system working how they told me it was going to work? They're not worrying about their self. They're just not worrying about themselves at the base level, like you were talking about. So like, if you're not thinking with that risk, it's all about how are you applying the risk reward property. If the risks have been mitigated from death, dysentery, disease for the most part, then people aren't going to be thinking about like they could happen anytime. We've removed that. So now the risk reward is the system. Like, why am I paying into this system if it's not providing the status quo? And I'm kind of fumbling over my own words here, but people aren't even considering your viewpoint on life, where they need to change themselves, change how they operate, because the opportunity is there to get ahead, because they're so wrapped up.
The opportunity is there to change the system if you build it.
Right, but no one is seeing that, because they're just worried about why the system isn't providing for them, how they were told it was
Right.
going to provide for them. So that's their main gripe in life. So they don't put any thought into getting themselves ahead or how can I work with the system how it is currently. They don't ask how can I ride the system? It or okay, they don't ask how can they get on top of the system. They ask why they just can't be a part of the system that works. You see the
Yeah,
difference
yeah,
there?
yeah. No, I see. And my thought process to that is someone came before them and set the system up. They weren't educated on what the system was supposed to, how it was supposed to work, and how it was to be continued on.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody chose at some point to go and deal with the risk of trying to get others to believe in said system, to go and find enough resources to take care of their own needs and requirements, to have the time to be able to go and build the system. And then once they go and get the system built, then they have to figure out how to do something that no one else has really done before, build this thing out so that at some point, someone down the line is going to reap the benefits of this. Might not even be them in their lifetimes. We see it all the time.
Right.
You see it in pioneering families. They took all of the risk. They went across the mountains. There's no way to do that. Like you're pulling a wagon and a train and
Right.
all this stuff so that the next generation will have some kind of a system, meaning they have some kind of land that they can go and get their food from, meaning that they're going to have some kind of livestock herd that takes time to build so that they can just go out and shoot a cow instead of having to go hunting elk.
Right.
You know, like they've a system has been put in place for every generation
by somebody else.
By somebody
the generation
else.
before.
Right.
So I think what we're coming to a head here
You're not
is,
letting me finish.
Okay.
You're not letting me finish. What I'm saying is that we now have some kind of a disconnect where the generation before, they either tried too hard to impress upon the next generation how hard it was previously,
Mhm.
and this is why it has to be like this, or they did it too well. They provided a system, or they talked about a system, or they sold a system to the next generation that the next generation was completely infatuated with. They believed in all of the good stuff about it and didn't see the hard stuff that had to happen.
Right.
They didn't understand the kind of loss. They didn't understand the kind of sacrifice that had to be made. They didn't understand any of that.
Yeah.
And so like now we have this disconnect. And for some reason, we're going to a generational standpoint with this. I didn't mean to do that.
But
I'm trying to state.
I think is a good overall. I mean, it's a real factor you can't ignore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But what I'm saying is the. Yes, you're right. And what I am saying is that there is the people that fight and have an issue with the system or feel like that a system should work and it should work for them and they should put the time into. They're also fighting the people that are trying to go and build another system.
Yeah.
They get angry at other people that say, well, actually, if you just don't believe in the system and you go and try and do your own thing and just take responsibility for yourself, the system won't matter.
Right.
If you can figure out how to take care of yourself and provide for yourself and go and build a whole new system for your family, then the current system doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you are fed the lie that this system will do these things for you, but you have to give us our time so that you can get those things, you're now believing in somebody else's system that you weren't there to build in the first place.
Right.
You're not going to reap the benefits of owning a system.
Yeah.
Without first saying your system's fine, that system's okay, this is all right, but it's not the one for me.
Right.
So that's all I'm purely saying is now we have people that run the system, people that are now contributing to the system, and then you have people that are trying to do a whole new system.
Right.
And the people that are trying to do a whole new system and the people that are contributing to another system,
they become outcasts from the current.
They're fighting.
Yeah.
There's infighting there. And it's like, and the only way that you're going to get the people that are already currently running the system to recognize that maybe the system is broken is only if you go out and outperform and show them a better way.
Right.
You have to go and show a better way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so hard in today's society, because you're seeing so many different better ways.
Right.
I feel like that's what's crushing my ability to go and create something better, is because I have information overload. I don't just sit down and work on something. I don't just sit down. I'm constantly overthinking how to do it.
Right.
But at least I've moved past I completely blindly trust the system. And at least I've moved past the point where I have to work for the system. Because at some point, I think for a human being to grow is you have to learn how a system works in general. So you're going to have to work in it at some point. You have to go and work in it.
Right.
You have to go and be a part of it, go see the flaws in it, go deal with the heartache of it, and go see the blessings of it before you truly want to go and build your own. And you have to be able to deal with all of that and then take pieces of it that are good and still go and do it. And deal with the things that you haven't seen necessarily done before, because you're just seeing how it's ran. You're not seeing how it's grown. Some cases you get to go see how it's grown. But yeah, so that's my thought process on,
yeah,
you give a poor person $600,
right,
and you give a rich person $600. I think it's poorly worded because it was tweet form.
right.
I see the validity in the guy's
In
response
both arguments.
and why it's brought up. But
Right.
my thought process is, the first one was broken. The first comment was broken. It wasn't truly laid out in what a real poor person is.
Right.
A truly poor person. And I would say this: most poor people are extremely, how do I say this? Resourceful in surviving.
Yeah.
What they're not resourceful in is, thriving, but finding
a way out.
Finding a way out. It's just, people need more examples.
Right.
So when I go back to the little village thing in the middle of nowhere, Tommy over there does have more, and he's 2 hours ahead. How did Tommy get it?
Right.
Or he's a day ahead, or he's 2 years ahead. He's 4 years older. How did he get it? And how do I build that up, make that faster? How do I get that for myself faster?
Yeah. And to do that, you have to, I think to do that, you have to step outside the system. But the thing is once you step outside the current system, I know we keep saying system a lot, people. I'm very sorry, just an easy analogy.
Yeah.
To do that, you have to re-expose yourself to the risks again.
Yep.
Because you were over here,
and the lack of structure.
Exactly.
Structure.
Yeah, you were over here. Risks were mitigated for you by someone else, either or by the community you were in, but you can't necessarily get ahead over here.
Yep.
But you're maintaining, and this ship is starting to slowly sink.
Mm-hmm.
But for now,
and they always will.
Yeah, but
it's a healthy process.
Yeah. For now, this ship is halfway into the water, but it's still floating.
Yep.
But to get ahead, you got to get on the life raft. Now, you know the ship is going to keep you afloat for a little while.
And there's more food on the ship.
The life raft could get you to a new shore, or it could just sink 5 meters away from the boat.
You're going to die trying.
So, and I think that's why most people, either they haven't been told about the life raft, or they know about it, but they're not willing to get on and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Because this is guaranteed somewhat safety, but this is complete 50-50.
Yeah, and that's my argument is, do you want something that's guaranteed?
Yeah.
Because how much does that take from you?
Exactly.
When something's guaranteed, it takes away so many emotions of joy and ability to feel true loss, and true loss brings true joy.
Mm-hmm.
True loss makes you realize the portions of life that may seem bleak to others, but they're a blessing to many that have experienced true loss. So, we talked about that a little bit in Luke Anderson's podcast. It was Kyle that I think was sitting in on that one.
Yeah.
But the suffering, the joy in suffering, and I'll tell you, everything that we're kind of talking about here, this truth, I think that there's a lot of truth in these conversations, and man, if you read the Bible, it's actually, this is all there. It's all there. It's all there. This is all very biblical philosophy.
I would argue that it's just old philosophy, because I'm coming from a non-religious standpoint versus you, and I would just argue that this is something that's been talked about and known for a long time. But yeah, I completely agree. The Bible does have, those parables are there for a reason.
Yep.
Somebody knew that these were good lessons that needed to be learned, so they recorded them.
Yep.
And a lot of it is changed with the times, maybe a little different here and there, but somebody recorded those reasons and made a big deal out of them for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But you could argue that with the Quran, same thing. There's good life lessons in there. There's also lessons on how to, mutilate people and murder non-believers.
Mm-hmm.
Everything comes with its ups and downs. But yeah, these old lessons are written down and recorded for a reason. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think that the mindset, because the Bible's not a nice thing. Old Testament is brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. The hundreds of thousands of people that died, and you'll never know their names. But what it does is it'll set up a person's mindset to realize you're just a little speck. Everything you think about, everything you do, and it's really just to help you realize how, if you can look at the world and see that it's that brutal and that hard and that tough, and still find hope and optimism and a yearning for a better future, nothing can stop you. If you can stare that barrel in the face, stare that gun in the face, and find the reason to keep going forward and keep growing and keep doing it, nothing will ever stop you. That's what I had to realize. I thought the Bible was one of the most depressing things, but we don't need to turn it into that. Yeah, it is. But then again, though, the people that can handle it, they thrive, man. People that truly understand it and understand the meaning and understand the points that are being made, I feel like they thrive.
And I would say that's just because they understand what the lessons the Bible's trying to teach. They're not taking it at face value.
Which is pull the log out of your eye.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the people that are constantly judging others and telling others to do something better, or telling other people that they're doing it wrong. I'm saying worry about yourself. And that was like, that's the whole thing, is like, you got to worry about yourself. If you don't worry about taking care of yourself and how to take care of, and not in a selfish way, but like work on yourself. Did we lose something?
No, I was going to drink from my water bottle, and I know it's loud. And I was like, I wonder if I can just quick mute myself.
I'm out of water too. I'm starting to get a headache. I gotta get some water, because that was a long dialogue. What are we at? 45 minutes?
Just shy, 37. But I would honestly be totally comfortable calling that an episode for the week.
Yeah.
We had one good philosophical point. We had two solid, we had 1 point. We had two solid ways of looking at it.
Yep.
Your perspective, my perspective, two different perspectives. I'm struggling with the vocab today. I'm usually right on point with it.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's we jumped right into it, and it was just a solid conversation. No filler, no crap.
All right, we hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Thanks so much for listening this week. Hopefully this will be out Sunday for you to listen to. We're going to try to keep up with that. Every Sunday you're going to see new episodes. And we have a couple new scheduled guests coming on, a little more sporadic. None of them really follow the line or any typical genre, other than they're making stuff happen. They're getting out there. They're trying stuff that's a little bit out of the ordinary.
Outside the system,
as we just discussed. And they are case studies, so that people that are in the audience can hear a little bit different take on life and go and chase something that's a little bit not normal. Yep. I guess is how I would put that. So, yeah, thanks so much for listening. Please go like, subscribe, again, rate, review on all the platforms you're on. We need way more subscribers on YouTube. And for the people on YouTube, we're going to start putting out a clips, type of videos.
Yeah, like we said at the beginning, we're going to try to start putting out clips. We're going to try to 5 minutes, 20 minutes, like we said.
So make sure you subscribe so you can catch some of those nuggets. If there's an episode that you don't want to listen to all the way, you might see some clips that you can just get some little nuggets of wisdom out of those. And thanks so much for everybody listening in. Thank you so much for supporting us, for giving us any kind of feedback. We will take all the feedback we can get. We hope you enjoyed the better sound quality this week. We sure did. It sounded better in our ears.
Yep. And our next guest is one that I'm personally super excited for.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be our next guest. One of the guests Drew has coming up that he got scheduled. I didn't believe him when he said they wanted to do it. But so you should see how excited I am, and you should be very excited. This is someone I've been following for a couple of years and has almost not lived parallel to me, but I pretty much just watched them do everything that I wanted to do. And they've just gone and done it. So it's huge. It's huge to me. I still can't believe you got them to agree to come on. So hopefully we get that soon.
Yeah. Oh,
And
one other thing. We rolled over 1,000 downloads.
oh,
So, and we're actually already at
I
1,100.
need the soundboard for like the horns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually, and we already rolled over 1,100 downloads actually. So we're picking back up. We're getting back out there. That's really exciting. Thank you guys so much for listening. And on top of that, so we're getting as much or more listens when we first started, when you combine the YouTube views and the downloads.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so it's really good, really exciting out there. We're gonna keep on trying to improve the quality. We're gonna keep on trying to make it look better. Thank you so much, Quinn, for getting in the studio and putting your time up for this. Neither of us are getting paid for this project. So
yeah, and plugs real quick. You can find Drew on Instagram. Go ahead and give me your Instagram.
At the Drew Gerber, THE, Drew Gerber.
Anywhere else you want to be contacted?
Yeah, you guys find me there. You're going to see my tree link, link tree or whatever it's called, and you'll see all the listings I have, real estate, all that stuff.
Yeah. And then you can find me on Instagram at Quinn Gerber.
Yep.
2 N's. And then, I'm trying to do TikTok every day. Something which feels awful.
You've been popping off on
I had one video hit 15,000 views, but you can find me over there. It's just at the Gerbil with a 1 instead of an L. Don't ask. But yeah, you can go follow those. That's pretty much just like my Snapchat Lite. So anything I deem good enough for public eyes, it's not too despicable, goes to TikTok. So yeah, Instagram, TikTok. Drew's got his Instagram. So that's all of our plugs.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're done.
And if we hit over so many thousands of views, I might even throw my phone number out there for you guys to contact me.
Oh my God. Why?
Burner phone. I don't even know that. All right, get us out of here, Drew.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening to the Drew Gerber Show. Peace.
I was standing outside waiting for you. You were always taking time.